passe l'artiste. Super, encore un but sensationnel. That's a brilliant bit of follow-up play by Mahe. Oh my goodness me, what a shot.
Sagosen setter det hen! Han setter den! De i semifinale igjen!
Hello everybody and welcome to the Uniformed Handball Hour. Today on the podcast, it's just me, Brian Campion and Chris O'Reilly. Alex is away busy with work and he'll be joining us back, I'm sure, for the next podcast. But it's just the two of us today and we have a very, very special guest in Veszprém Handball's Yahia Omar joining us for a very, very interesting, insightful and easygoing interview. I think it's going to be almost on 40 minutes, so you don't want to miss that. And I think, Chris, should we just jump straight into that?
Yeah, let's jump into it. I'm just going to say, right, I met him in January at the final weekend of the Euro, and what he was like then is exactly what he's like in the interview as well. He's just so easygoing, so engaging. He's a bit of a handball nerd as well, like a self-confessed one. That comes across, and I think you're all going to enjoy it. So let's listen to Yahia.
Hey man.
Hello, Yahia. How are you?
I'm good. Everything is fine. How are you?
Good. We'll jump straight into it, shall we?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so I think we'll go back to really early days. We were talking about it before we spoke to you today, and we were thinking it'd be nice to hear about your really, really early days playing handball and when you grew up in Egypt and what it's like to grow up in Egypt playing handball.
Where can I start? I played, actually, my father played handball, and this was the main reason why I played. He actually didn't want me to play so much. He wasn't pushing me towards it, but he made me go one day, and I went, and it just clicked, you know. I was playing before a lot of individual sports, and it was a little bit boring for me. I like interaction. I was a kid that likes people, you know, so I wanted to be around this feeling of having a team around you and sharing this experience. So after the first day, I told him, I'm here, you know, this is for me. I started actually playing not in Zamalek, not in a big team. I played in a team called the Gezira. It's my childhood club, where the guys there are from same neighborhood, same community. I was just playing for fun, you know, for just being around some friends, being around the people that you love. And as I got older, maybe starting, I don't know, 14, 15, I started being good, playing better. And then they started making this youth national team. And I started taking it serious. I wanted to prove that I would be there. I was not chosen in the first maybe 6 months or 1 year maybe. And I was thinking that I would be there. I'm going there. I just need time. I just need them to see me. And I was playing the best I can. I was just competitive. I wanted to show that I'm as good as the rest of them. And then when I went there, I started taking handball serious, you know, that it maybe can become a career. It can become more than just a hobby. It can be maybe my life even. It was just, in the beginning, I was thinking it just maybe as a hobby, but I liked it because I was, when I wanted to go take my head away from school, I would just go to the court and play, and I could play just for 3-4 hours. I wouldn't care. Just when I was there with my friends with the ball, I just forgot about everything else. So that was the main reason as I was playing. And then after, when I started going to this youth national team, everything started being more serious from them.
And you say there, like, there was a certain time that you realized that you could make a life out of it and become a professional. Do you remember any particular moment there? Was it a tournament that you played, or when you started, let's say, performing very well with the junior national team that you thought, or maybe it's somebody told you that, this is something you have to really take seriously here. You have big potential.
It's not one moment. It's a lot of moments, but I think you take the advice and actually the compliments that you can take from people around you. And for example, the first team coach who was in my childhood club, he was always telling me stuff like, "You're gonna be so good. You're going to play in Europe. You're gonna be so good." I wasn't thinking. I was thinking just, okay, he's saying I'm good. I don't know if I can be that good, but it's good. It's good that you think I'm good, and I'm trying to do my thing. And then as you go, you think that a lot of people believe in you. And when this coach said this, and then you go to youth national team, and the same happens there. And then Zamalek want to buy me, and they took me on loan first year to try out. And actually, from the first day I was there, I was just doing my thing, and all the people around me were giving me the same compliments, that you feel that you're a little bit special. It's not like you're just there and people are around you, okay, he's good. You could feel that something is happening. And from this moment, I like this feeling, this feeling of people giving you the compliment that you can be good, that you're outstanding, that you can be better than them. So from the first day I went there, they were basically my idols. It was Al-Ahmar there, was a lot of other guys that maybe you don't know, but for me and for the Egyptian handball community, they are legends. They played there for 20 years. They won everything. And just to be there amongst them was sensational, just to feel this vibe around. Oh, I'm with the guys that I was watching on TV. I'm a fan of the team. I'm a fan of handball since early ages. So maybe the year before, when they won the African Championship, I was waiting in the airport, with the fans and jumping. And they didn't know me still. And I was doing this not because I'm a player. I was doing it because I love it. So when I went there, I didn't take this same thing that I wasn't going there as a fan. I said to myself, I'm not going to be going there taking pictures or going there saying this stuff that I'm telling you now. I never said to them. I never went to them. I told them, you're my idols. I want to play here. I was just, okay, you're good and I'm going to be good. And let's see. The best defender, I'm going to go against him every day in training. If someone in the same position does something good, I'm going to do something better. And I wanted to show them that I'm not here to be praising you guys. I'm here so you can praise me. So this is my first part where I felt that I could that when I succeeded there, I felt that I can do it in a lot of places after.
So you said early on about getting the compliments that give you a lot of confidence. Is that something you still get now from your teammates at Veszprém, or do they not compliment you as much about all the superstars in the team?
Actually, yes, of course, it keeps happening, and that's what I thought when I came here. I had the same doubts in my mind. Everyone was saying to me, "It's amazing that you signed for Veszprém, and it's a great team, and even if you don't succeed there, you can go to any club after in Europe." But I was thinking, I did it before. When I went to Zamalek, it was a huge jump for me, and the people around me were so big of a stars there. And it's basic. I'm gonna do the same thing again because I'm now better, and I already played for national team, and I played against all the big teams, and I could perform. Not okay when I was young. Of course, I could not perform for 60 minutes, but at least for 10 minutes, I can make a show. My shots can go in, my fintas can pass through. I was doing good. So I said I would go there with the same mentality that I went to the first team, to the national team, to Zamalek and everything. And I said, I'm going to do it again. And when I came here, the same thing happened. I remember Of course, till now, it still happens when you do, but it's not the same when first year, because when I came first year, no one knew me. They were thinking, okay, we signed one guy from Egypt. He's young. No one knows nothing about him. How good can he be? This is it's normal. You would think, okay, if I'm the same, if I'm playing in Egypt and we sign one guy from not so big a country and he comes, okay, how good can he be? How big character can he show? And when I went there from first preparation, I wanted to earn the respect of them, and this is the easiest way to be their friend, to gain the respect and the confidence from them, is to be better than them in training. And I remember actually we were in preparation, and we were making some trainings, games, something like this, and I did some couple of good actions, and then I was changing. I was outside. I was sitting next to Lekai, and he told me, I was like taking my breath, catching my breath, and he told me, "Hey man, calm down. You're good. We know, you know." I said, "Okay, I'm just so focused, you know." So this kept happening, you know, and as I did it in training, I wanted to do it in games, and because in the big games, especially, this is where you gain their confidence, because I think like this, and of course all of them think like this. When anyone can play good in training, anyone can play good in preparation games, but when it comes to Champions League, when you play against Kiel, against Barcelona, against these teams, this is where the big players are seen. Anyone can make a good game without pressure, a good game with the team that you know that the team knows that we can beat. But in these games that everyone is not sure, that even the stars are not sure that they can be really good tonight, when you play good there, this is where it starts. And we had the first game, it was Kiel home, and I was in for the last maybe 10 minutes in the first half, and I scored 2 goals, and then I was in for the last maybe 15 minutes of the game, and I scored 5 more, and it was Landinen goal, and everyone also was okay. They knew that I had the quality in training, and they were seeing everything, but they didn't know, do I have the character to show it in a game like this? Would I be scared? Because this is normal. When you're young, everyone expects that you are scared when you play these big games. When you play against the big names, these players, you're a little bit shy, you know, and I didn't want to look like this. So I went full in, and after this game, I think from the first day, I just wanted to earn the respect, and this was really important for me to show in front of the teams like this that we play.
All of those things you mentioned there about coming into a new club, it seems like at Veszprém, it's almost magnified because the club is very special in its own way, with the history and also with the, let's say, the pressure that comes from the outside, from the people who run the club and from all of Hungary, really. If you were to describe what it is like to play for Veszprém to somebody who has no idea what the club is like, how would you summarize it?
I think if I would say something, it would be like the greater the club, the greater the fans, the more the interest they have, the higher the responsibility, the higher the pressure. And that's just it. Some other teams are really big, but they don't have this fan base like we have. We have full hall every time. And this comes with a price, you know. They are going to be here to help you. They're going to here to, when you're good, you're going to feel like you're the king and you're going to be on top of the world. But when you're bad, you're going to feel like it's hell, you know, because everyone's going to be mad at you. Everyone's going to want more from you. And this is normal. And I think this is the most important for players, that for big players that want to be stars, that they have to learn is to handle the pressure, because you are going to be good at sometimes. Even if you're the best, you're going to be good at sometimes, and you're going to be bad at sometimes, and you're going to have ups and downs. But when you have the downs and when you have this low confidence periods, you have to gain it from your friends, your coaches, this. So I think as much as it is hard to play here, and it's really hard to play with the pressure, with the fans, with this mentality of not losing one game, even if it's Champions League, even if it's against the best teams like you, they never want to lose. But the club actually has been really good with me, especially, and with most of the guys here, that they were always behind me. They were always giving me confidence, and the players also. It's not like when they see you down, they let you go. It was always another set of compliments that don't have pressure on yourself. Come back. We know you're gonna be good, and that's what we try to do here, even with each other. Because maybe not all of the people as fans or in the handball world know, but these players, the stars, the superstars, they have feelings. They have ups and downs. They also can feel sometimes that they don't have confidence. They don't feel that the game is going right, and they don't feel that that at this time that they can perform that like they always do. But that's how we come back. We come back with each other, because people from outside, even fans, kind of be supportive. But at times, if the team and the guys around you don't make you feel this support, you're gonna feel like you're alone, because the pressure is high and the pressure is really big here. And that's the best thing, that when you win in the end, you feel so much better, because it's a big relief. I actually, till now, whenever we won, at the end, you're crying and you're so emotional after, not because of this feeling of triumph or feeling that you're a winner. It's actually the feeling of relief that's ended. That all of these sacrifices you do, all of the plays that you're doing, all the trainings that you do every day, it's finished now, and you won in the end. So this is the best, actually.
For people on the outside, and for neutral fans looking at Veszprém, I think one of the things that comes into people's mind is there's a lot of pressure on as you alluded to there, on the players, from the fans and from the club itself. The last time I was in Veszprém, I was talking to some of the staff members, some of the background staff, and they're saying to me, it's only maybe in the last year or so that within the team itself, that the team has decided to not put so much pressure maybe on themselves. And I'm just wondering, my question to you would be, having a coach like Momo Ilic in there, who's been through the ringer for years with Veszprém, he knows what it's like to work with all the fans and the club and the pressure that's put on. Does that maybe help you? Do you have someone who's in there who's been there, worn the jacket with Veszprém? He knows the pressure, this thing, and he's there maybe to alleviate that a little bit and say, look, it's not the end of the world if you lose a few games.
Yeah, of course. He's been actually really good with us this season. And as a coach and as a player who played here, he knows everything around the club. And the best thing, that because of the age gap is not so big, he's close to us and he listens. He listens to us. He listens to the captains, and he feels everything. I think he knows us more now, even into the season, than he did in the beginning. But every time he sees something, he tries to change it. Every time he sees some of us feeling pressure or feeling down, he tries to fix it. And this is the most important, because technically handball is hard in the game, but all of this can be fixed by training, by practicing everything. But this feeling, if you don't feel good in the team, if you don't feel good in the city, you're gonna be just there but not there. You're gonna be there but your head isn't following. The handball is full of risks. You play the 60 minutes, whichever shoot you take, whichever action you play, if you don't have confidence to go through with it, you're always gonna make a mistake. And if you're afraid to make a mistake, then you're not gonna do something good. So he's helping with this so much, and he helped me a lot actually. This season, from the beginning, I had really good moments, and also I had some bad moments. I was in the Olympics in the summer. I didn't have summer, and we started the preparation early because of the COVID the year before. So I was like 14, 15 months straight without rest. So it's been hard for me, but he was there and he helped me pass through the days that I was feeling really tired, feeling uncomfortable, feeling down for the moments. And I think this is really good when you have this and when he takes this pressure off of us. And also this pressure is taken off of us a little bit because we lost last year. So winning means more this year. It means more than just being still the winner. It's gaining it back. So the motivation is higher. The team is together more because they felt how it was when we lost, and they don't want to feel this again. So everyone's giving 100%, and he's with us. And I hope this season that we can bring back the title and go to Final Four and show what Veszprém has again.
You mentioned there about going 100%. We met a few months ago at the Euro in Hungary, and you and Andy Nielsen were talking about just how much you beat the crap out of each other in training all of the time, and how intense it is with the kind of squad you have and the personalities in the squad as well. I find it fascinating when you think about people like Nenadic and Mahe and yourself, and pretty much everyone in the squad has a big reputation, big personalities on the court, a lot of confidence as well. But the personalities seem to mix very well this year in particular. What makes it work so well, this group?
We train like crazy. You can't imagine. Really, I don't think no one trains like this, because in the training itself, we're so playing with so much intensity. It's sometimes harder than some games. Yeah. This thing you mentioned about having a lot of big players, stars, characters. These characters also have this same motivation about not only being as a team good, but being the best. So this gives you extra motivation when you see you're not competing only against the other team that you want to win. You're also competing with your teammates. When you see the left back is scoring 3 in a row, okay, I'm going to do something. Now play for me. I'm going to do something. I want to do something. I want to show also that I'm good. At the time, today I'm here. I'm pushing like him. So this gives so much for us that even sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it becomes fights. It's like people take it so much on themselves that you find that both teams are fighting. So this stuff is really important for the team. I feel that when you're so competitive and when you feel that you want to win all the time, when we come to the game, we're just doing the normal. We're not. We were not just practicing and see. We are competing every day. So when we come to the games, we're doing the same thing all over. We're competing with each other. We're competing with the team, and the most important thing this year that we're letting our egos go in the game. You're not just looking to be the best yourself, but you want to make the guys around you be better. We are going more outside together as a team. We're actually feeling more friends than before, and that makes you actually, it feels amazing, because you don't feel that you're helping your teammate or you're not winning. It's not a job. It's your life. When I'm there with, for example, Makeda, we're so good friends. And when I go outside and he goes in and he scores, I'm really happy for him. When he plays good, I'm not like feeling, okay, he's playing good and we're the same position. No, I'm feeling that, wow, man, I'm happy for you. Play good. I want you to play good. And that's just how it should be in this collective sports, that you're happy for your teammates as much as happy that you would be for yourself. That when someone else scores, or actually when even someone else is having a really good week, you want him to have a better week. You want to push him that he can be the best today. If it's not your day, then make his day better. So this is really a key in how we are playing this season. And you could find in all of the games, it's not only one guy who's performing or two guys. Every day we have a new MVP, a new guy who's making an amazing game. Even for the goalkeepers, you would see in Champions League, Rodrigo was playing amazing. He was saving everything. And now in the last two games against Szeged, when we won the cup and we won against them at home away at their arena, Tupara was amazing, and he blocked everything. He was basically giving us the match alone. So this is amazing to have these players who, whichever guy you put in, he's ready and hungry as the one who was inside before him.
Chris talked there about the different personalities and maybe the different roles they have in the team. If you were to kind of verbalize the role or what you offer on the court to Veszprém, what is it exactly? If you had to put it into a few words, what you give to the team?
My role is different. I can be whichever the team needs today. I like to score. I'm a scorer. I'm a shooter, but I'm also I can be a playmaker. I have no problem of going one game and scoring 1-2 goals and assisting 10. I have no problem playing for the team, playing for the guys around me, and I did it a lot of games, which I wasn't shooting a lot, but I was passing everything. And I had some games that I needed to be the one who was scoring, and I was doing it. So I'm feeling this space which we need. I try to be the link that goes everywhere. I want to connect my right wing to if he's having a good game to be the pivots to be passing to them, to be making good actions for the guys in left back and center back, for Mahe, Lekai, Nenadic, Lauge, Ligitvari, whoever is there. I would want them to have good actions that they can shoot, good actions that they can score. Even if I'm not shooting, I'm going with the same intensity that I'm shooting, so everyone would go jump with me and let them score freely. So I'm probably at this specific time, I'm shooting more than usual because we don't have as much shooters as before. So I'm taking responsibility to be the guy that shoots from the 9 meter, from 10 meter. And when the games needs to be 1-on-1, I can be the guy who finishes also. I can be the guy who crosses. It just depends on which style the defense against us is trying to play.
You mentioned there the Szeged game, the couple of Szeged games, the cup final, and that big away win. I want to ask you about that away win as well, going to the new arena in Szeged, a packed crowd, and getting a victory. First of all, what did you feel about that game? And it also seems in general that the team is really hitting form at the right time of the season, because you've had your ups and downs this year, but the last month or so, things really seem to be clicking.
Derby is always derby. This game is always emotional, and it's more than any team you would play against, even in Champions League, because it means for the fans much more. It means for the club much more, and and so for us, it means a lot more to win, even if the game is friendly. It's like this. So when we played there, we actually have just won the cup, but we didn't want to make the same mistake that we did last year. When we won the cup, everything after started falling, and maybe we were celebrating a lot the cup, but this time it was different. We won the cup. We were happy that we won the cup, but it's not our goal. Our goal is still on, and May is really important for us as a month, as a whole, because it has a quarterfinal, it has this game. And this game was our first to play in the new arena there, and we just went with the same mentality in the Kupa game, because actually this game doesn't matter so much as calculations, because anyways we play against them home and away in the last playoff for the league final. So basically it means whoever wins will play the first game away, that he can play home the next game. So as calculations, it doesn't mean nothing, but for us it meant so much more that we can dominate now, instead of giving them a lot of emotions and hope that they can win again in the league. You can win against us in the coming game. So I hope that they can win the league this year. But this game was essential for us, that we can be sure that we can win at the home court in the first game that we play there. To just put it in words.
Your next big challenge then next week is going to be the game against Aalborg. If you're going to look at the two styles of the handball that you both play, I think they're probably quite different. What would you say, just commenting on what both teams offer in terms of style of handball?
They're playing amazing. They have mostly a young team, and they're running so much. They're physical and they're putting so much effort. We're playing with more experienced players, so we have a different approach to the game. I don't have a lot of technical stuff to say, because in the end, all of us will give the same energy and the same emotion towards this game, because this game means so much to go to the Final Four, especially for us that we've been away the last year, and it hurt so much to lose last time from Nantes there, and we played a really bad game away this last year, and we don't want to make the same mistake. Fortunately, that we have this game home and we have it home, and we want to take advantage of this. We want to take advantage of playing at our home court, that we can show our fans, and we actually want to remain undefeated at home. We didn't lose one game this year at home, and we want to make the best of it, the best 60 minutes that we can, so we can have a good chance of qualifying. We know how they play. We're going to start studying how they play from next week, and there's nothing much to say about it. It's just going to be a fight, and whoever is smarter and whoever wants it more is going to get it.
You said there that you prefer to play the first leg at home.
We actually didn't prefer. This is the case, this is what happened, that we would play the first game at home, and we want to use it for our favor.
Yeah.
That last time we played the first game away and we didn't feel the same energy. And when we lost 3-4 goals, it was hard to get them back at home. They were already feeling better, playing better, and this cost us a lot. So I think this time being at home might not be good, because you play the next game away, but it's good that you start off with the big energy.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that a lot as well. We saw with Szeged losing to Flensburg in the last round. Even though it wasn't a huge gap, the fact that it was a low-scoring game in the first leg meant that it was difficult because of the away goals rule as well to turn it around. But yeah, I mean, in that case, you can try and make the most of it, and it's just interesting because you consider playing the home leg in the second leg being an advantage, but in this case, you don't care so much.
In handball, it's not like football. It's not like 1, 2, 3 goals. It depends on how the game is going. You just want to win the first game, and you want to play the best you can the first game, because it gives you an advantage. You feel that you go to the second game, you already have 3 goals plus, you have 2 goals plus, and this edge that you have is already giving you a little bit of confidence that when the game is equal, you're winning. And we have to make the most of it. We have to take the advantage that we play at home in the first leg, and to play the maximum that we can get a positive attitude, a positive score, a positive everything that we can take from the city here and from the arena, from the guys that are going to be around us watching.
When you're getting into the big games of the season now, I mean, pretty much all the games left are just the biggest games of the whole season. What are you like in preparation for these big games? Are you kind of the person that wants to just relax and not even think about handball, or are you visualizing what you're going to be doing, or are you just listening to music, getting yourself pumped up? What's your kind of normal pre-big match kind of routine?
I'm visualizing from one day before. I'm just dreaming about the game. It doesn't have to be something specific, that I'm not thinking too much about every action, how I'm going to do. It's just dreaming about how we're going to shoot, how we're going to score, if you want to try something new, and who's going to be against you, who are you going to be defending against. And when you think about this stuff, when you come to the game, you're just ready for it. You look and you don't feel that you feel that it's familiar, that you saw it before. But this is just one day before and in the morning. But after we finish the video in the morning and we go to lunch, I go to nap and I wake up in a good mood, and I'm not thinking about handball so much. I'm trying to let loose a little bit, listen to some music, pray a little bit that I feel comfortable, and call my family, ask them just to pray for me, to support me. And I go to the game. Some players, for example, would want to be more focused in the locker room. I would probably joke around a little bit. I have no problem doing this before the game. It makes me feel with less pressure. And I like being around the guys that have the same approach, that we can be together, we say something, we joke about it. And when we go to the warm-up, it's then completely different. You just close your mind and you start getting ready for the game. And as soon as the game starts, first 2-3 actions, you're locked in.
Is there a guy in the team that you know you shouldn't go near to joke with?
I think it's different, but maybe Nenadic, when we start this warm-up and this area, when they go to the locker room, he doesn't speak so much.
Yeah.
He's on their own and he's focused, doesn't speak so much, maybe say something easy, but doesn't like to speak so much. I'm mostly, when we're warming up, I'm mostly with Makeda and the right back. We're easy. We talk with each other. We joke. It's no problem. Andreas is the same. Gasper Marguc is the same. Rodrigo also is the same. We have no problem throwing the jokes around, being easy, just talking about the game. We don't like to be fully focused that you don't speak with anyone, and that just makes me feel better. Okay, guys, it's a game now. We're just gonna look around what's happening in the court and we do our thing.
You've been brilliant, Yahia, and we don't want to hold you too much longer. It's already been, I think, almost 40 minutes, and we're very grateful for that. I just want to ask you, before we let you go today, a bit about the Egyptian wave of players to Europe. I think you've led this new generation of players coming over, and Yahia Eldaraz joining Veszprém next season. More Egyptians are going to Europe in the next year or two. What kind of impact do you think this will have on the national team, which already is really knocking on the door for getting medals at the world level and also interest in the sport back at home?
I'm so happy about this thing, especially. I think it began with Sanad when he went. Actually, when he went to Komlo. If probably no one knows, it was one team in Hungary, and he didn't have a good offer. He didn't have a good life, but he just wanted to try this European experience. And he led on the way that we can travel and we can go to Europe. And when I had this chance to go to a big club directly, I took it, and I'm happy that not only that all the national team players and the guys in the national team want to come to Europe and want to play here, but that the clubs also started to having confidence in these guys. Because before, maybe all the teams saw us as maybe you have some quality, maybe you have some good players, but will they adapt? Do they have the education? Do they have the same social life? Will they succeed if they came here? And I was sure that when I was playing, especially in the first years, I was thinking more of this, that I'm not only me, I'm an image for my country here in the Champions League and in Hungary. And I wanted to show that not only I can be a good player, but I can be a good socially with everyone. I can be everyone's friend. I can go out with them. I'm basically living the same life at home, and I can do it here. That everyone feels comfortable with me. That they feel okay. We're linked. We see the same. The guys from Egypt are basically the same like us. They're not something else, or they're not behind, And I'm glad that a lot of clubs took this incentive of signing Egyptians, and I'm really happy with the talents we have. It's actually amazing that we can have as much talent as we have right now, and all of them are doing really good, and all of them are taking it as a career, not as just a hobby or something. They're playing for it to be their work every day, and this is really important for us. We after this wave, after World Championship, what we did this Denmark game, you cannot imagine how big it is in Egypt. You know, we're almost like football players now. Everyone is giving us the respect and the popularity. It's going. The reach is going really big, and this will help us so much in gaining this respect that we took in the handball community. That to take it outside also helps, that you feel proud of what you're doing, because some other sports have done some good things, but no, people in the street, you know, they don't know you, they don't know how good you are. So when this happens with handball, it's really good for us to feel it, that people want to see us, people want to watch us, and they give us a huge respect, that we can win against the big teams, that we can be in semi-final in the Olympics, and they are waiting for us for much more. And I think we're just scratching the surface. All of us are playing good now, but we're gaining so much experience. And when the rest of the players come to Europe, I think the team is gonna be ready to be that you don't say that it's a surprise that Egypt is here. You know, it's not like the black horse in the tournament. It's them. You know, they're good and they're gonna be there. We know.
I like that as well, the scratching the surface. I think that that puts it very nicely, and we're looking forward to discovering more with you as well, and not just with the Egyptian team, but you with Veszprém as well. Both Brian and I will be there watching you in the arena next week. So until then, take care of yourself, Yahia. It's been a pleasure to talk, and we'll have to do it again sometime soon.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed so much with your questions, and I hope that we can do this again.
Let's do it. Thank you very much to Yahia Omar. We promised it would be good, insightful, and very easygoing, and that it was. Do you have any takeaways from that before we move on?
Well, I think I'm really pumped now for Egyptian handball in general now. I think he really sold it to me there. So I'm excited what's to come. And also, I think just talking to him there, just excited to see what Veszprém can now do. Because I think it's a season for them where it feels like it was maybe a slight reset in some regards. And they've had some mixed results, but some also very good results. So we know they can pull it out of the bag. And as you touched on in the interview, momentum is a huge thing at this stage of the season, and their momentum is they're going into these games now with a lot of good momentum behind them. So it's going to be, I'd imagine, between them and Aalborg, it's going to be two very close games, and too hard to call for me. But I might just give, after that interview, give Veszprém the nod.
Yeah, no, it's they have been on a brilliant run of form, and also if you consider like the beginning of the year, so just after the Euro, they struggled a little bit. Like they drew at home to Porto, lost to Barca, but then beating Kielce and then beating PSG away really kind of kicked things off for them. And I think we'll talk more about the Champions League next week. So just after the first leg games, because we did preview them a little bit in a previous podcast. But Brian, both you and I will be in Veszprém, as you said at the end of the interview, for that game. So that'll be a cracker on Thursday evening. And a quick overview of the other games there. So it's Flensburg Barca on Wednesday and PSG Kiel on Wednesday. Then Telekom Veszprém against Aalborg and Montpellier against Kielce on Thursday. I think we all kind of had some very strong views for the games a couple of weeks ago. I think we'll just leave them as they are and then come back to them after the first leg, because I also feel like we had strong views about the European League and saying that they'd be fairly straightforward. They weren't all very straightforward in the end. And we're recording this on a Wednesday night. So last night, there was the second leg of the quarterfinals in the Men's European League. And what did you make of it, Brian? Because you were on duty throughout the evening.
Yeah, I mean, I think just as the tournament as a whole, I think it's been really, really, really entertaining. And some really bizarre. I mean, that game, Nexa versus GOG, there was one stage because I'm putting up clips and highlights on various different platforms. So you have the game on, usually on mute because you're doing about 12 different things. And I checked the score and I saw that GOG were 4 up, and I was thinking, God, they've really pulled themselves back into it now. Went off, put some clips up at various places, went back to the game, and then all of a sudden, Nexa were 5 in front, and I was thinking, God, it's an absolute the most topsy-turvy game ever. As I thought, because GOG were at home as well, and I just put up a clip of their keeper, who's Matthias René-Rex, and he'd saved a shot, and it was just like an amazing, first of all, amazing save, but then how the crowd erupted, and I was thinking, God, they have the wind in their sails now here. This is going to be very, very difficult for Nexa, and they were only 1 goal behind in aggregate, and the next thing you turn around, and then they went on I think a 6-0 run or whatever it was, and yeah, just incredible. And what a story for Nexa as well, because I mean, they've never reached these types of heights in any competition before in Europe, so they're writing history. And then a team like Benfica is also writing history, so it's a very emotionally charged EHF finals that we're going to see. I don't think we know where it's going to be yet.
Nexa beat GOG by 5 goals on aggregate. And they'd won that first leg by 5. So it ended up being a 37-37 draw in that second leg, which is absolutely nuts. Benfica had a nice 7-goal win in their first leg against Gorenje Velenje. Then it was a draw in the second leg in Slovenia. So they go through by 7. Cadet and Schaffhausen, they put it to Plock in the first game at home, but got absolutely smashed in Poland. That was a 13-goal win in the second leg and a 15-goal win overall. And then Magdeburg really turned it on in the second leg, ended up winning that only by 2, but pretty much had the game wrapped up already kind of midway through the second half, and they go through as the reigning champions to the final tournament with a 5-goal win.
So what do you think of the 4 teams then? Do you think it's well balanced? Do you like the mix of teams that have ended up? Because I actually quite like it, because I think you have the crazy wild dogs of Nexa. Then you have Benfica, who I think, were insanely disappointed being knocked out by Fibers in qualification last season. And then you have Płock, who I think, you could make a fairly good case that they have a good chance of actually winning the whole thing. And then you have Magdeburg, of course, who would be obviously the big favourites. So what do you make of the mix of teams?
It's interesting. I think Nexa, because I've seen them some games this season where they got absolutely smashed against teams like Gorenje Velenje and against Severhof, and then you're like, well, maybe they're not really up to anything. But then they pull off results like they have in these knockout rounds. So you have to say over the case of 60 minutes, when you have people like Halil Ganjac, who could come up with 10, 12 goals when he's really on form, then they're always going to have a chance. Benfica and Płock, I think I put kind of on a level playing field there as like this middle bracket in that final tournament. Płock in particular, I think that they've probably felt like, they were the outsiders in this tournament last year because they were the only non-German team. They'll feel a lot more at home, I think, in terms of playing styles as well. And then Magdeburg, well, they're just, they had another huge win, 2 huge wins in 3 days. So they go and beat Fuchs Berlin on Sunday and then beat Nantes on Tuesday. It's incredible what they continue to produce. They're going to be the favourites, I think, particularly if they are at home. And then it is, but at this second tier competition, or any final tournament in handball, anything can happen. And we've seen Magdeburg lose in the semi-finals playing at home before. So yeah, it'll be really, really interesting to see the semi-final pairings. I think that's on Friday morning, the draw for that. And I'd say everyone would want to face Nexa, but they'll probably think twice about it once they're facing them in the actual game. But besides that, it's really wide open. Good times.
Yeah, because you feel like a team like Nexa, they don't fear anyone. They've really nothing to lose. They don't care at all. So they're going to go into this, John. Everything's just a bonus from here on out. And as you said, with players like Jaganic in there, they're just, he's an absolute juggernaut. Didn't do much for Croatia during the Euro, but for Nexa, he looks like one of the best players in the world.
I was really disappointed in him at the Euro. It was a pity. He was kind of a bull in a china shop. I think we talked about it. We talked about it at the time. But obviously, he feels a lot more comfortable among the club players, and that's understandable as well. So, I mean, he's still a young guy. Yeah, bright future for him, and he's going to want to say goodbye in the best way possible as well.
Yeah, with a serious arm on him as well. I put up a clip of him on the social media, and it looked like he was almost throwing a lighter ball at some stage, like, the absolute whip he has. But yeah, I would agree with you though. Magdeburg definitely are the big favourites going into that, but I just think maybe with Płock having been there last season already, they know what it's about, and I think they're looking better this season. It could be a good final. I hope that is the final, because they'll probably make the best final.
Hey, I'm just happy there's 4 teams from 4 different countries in, and that's I don't know when there was that last happened in the second tier competition in the men's side, because usually it's at least 2 German teams, right? Yeah. I feel like I should look this up here. Let me see what the last time was. So 3 German teams last season. There were 2 in the final in 2019, 3 in 2018, 3 in 2017. While there were 2 French teams in 2016, 2 German teams in 2015. There you go, 2013, 2014. That was when Szeged beat Montpellier in the final in Berlin, and Berlin beat Constanța from Romania in the 3rd place game. So it's been 8 years since 4 teams from 4 different countries were in this. So yeah, enjoy it while it lasts, I'd say.
Absolutely. So we probably should talk a little bit about the second leg of the in the Women's Champions League that's going to be coming up this weekend. I'm going to be going to...
And the quarterfinals.
Did I say quarterfinals? What did I say?
No, you didn't say it.
Sorry. Yes, the quarterfinals, second leg.
Just the second leg.
Coming up. Yeah, the second leg of what, Brian? Second leg of the quarterfinals, which are coming up this weekend. I'm going to Match of the Week on Saturday, which will be going to Győr versus Brest, which is being set up, which should be hopefully a really good game. But then again, maybe last week was Brest's opportunity to really stick it to Győr. A draw, I don't know, playing in the Audi Arena is never easy, so we'll see what they're up to.
Well, the crazy thing about that is the last 4 times they've played now in the last 2 seasons, every single game has been a draw after 60 minutes.
That's incredible.
Both in Hungary and in France. So the only time that was an exception was in the Final Four last season, the semi-final, where they had to decide it on penalties, and Brest won that. So Brest are well used to going and getting a draw in Hungary, and seeing as that first leg was really low scoring, 21-21, 22 goals and more, draw takes them through. For now, because we also learned that the away goals rule is being gotten rid of from next season onwards, which I think is a good idea. I think we'll wait for Alex. I think that's something Alex would love to talk about. So we'll save that topic for him. For now, the away goals rule still stands. So, I think they still have a chance. These teams love to draw with each other.
I think, I can't remember if it was the start of this season or last season, but I said that if any team's going to beat Győr, it's going to be Brest. So I'll stand by that if I did say that, but I can't fully remember.
They technically haven't beaten them yet in 60 minutes, but a high-scoring draw will do the trick.
Yeah, you can still beat them and go through, which is, you not beat them and still go through, which is crazy. I think probably a big disappointment from the first leg would probably be Krim and their outing against Vipers in the first leg. I think they probably expected with Anna Gross coming to the team and some of the other names in the team that it would have been a bit of a closer encounter, and also that was at home as well. Now they have to go to Norway. That's a they lost 32-25. It's not going to happen, is it? So I think they'd be deflated, unless it's going to be an unbelievable comeback, which I can't really see when they're traveling to Norway. Against a team like Vipers as well, who'll run the legs off you. Yeah,
I was really impressed with the Vipers team in that game. Like most of all, Bella Gulden in the centre-back position, who is leaving at the end of the season. So a really quick stint for her, because she's moving back to Sweden to be close to her sister, who I think has cancer. But she didn't seem to be like hitting the heights she had previously up until now. But she ran the game beautifully in that first leg. And Anna Debelic on the line, she was just unstoppable. Nora Merck popped up with a few amazing shots. Just everyone in the team that was brought in did something really well. And then you have Katrina Lunda, who made 15 saves. So just like shutting down the shop when she decided to. And yeah, I mean, Anna Gross scored 8 goals. She had a good game, but didn't really have much support there. What surprised me most about the Crim team is just how many unforced errors they made. How many balls they threw away or were stolen in the attack. So that surprised me a little bit. And yeah, we were kind of we were saying it was going to be really nervy for Vipers, but they dealt with it brilliantly. So they, I think, have more than 1 foot in the Final Four.
And of course, we only have 3 games. We don't have 4 quarterfinals because Mets have gone directly through because of their 10-0 win over Rostov-Don. But we do then have a game which I saw last week as well. I'm going to all the games. I've been to all the games. CSM Bucuresti and Esbjerg, which in the first half wasn't a very good game, but it turned into, well, I wouldn't say it was a very good game of handball, but it was definitely tense in the second half. And then CSM kind of muscled their way back in and made a competition of it, which I'm glad they did. There was a bit of contention at the very end about the last goal, whether it was a goal or not, and the referees had to go over to the desk and then in fact give it, even though they said they'd given it already. So There was a bit of a back and forward there. But I think Esbjerg were clearly the better side, but I think CSM just made a scrap out of it, and kind of that's what it felt like to me anyway. It was a bit like, let's make a fight of this and give the ball to Niago and she'll do the job.
Yeah, she ended up, it was like 9 goals from her, and the next best was Eduarda Amorim with 3. So a big gap there in terms of what they actually produced. And then the goalkeepers just didn't really do anything for them. I mean, it was pretty close to goalkeeper battle, which neither a goalkeeping pair were that amazing, but the score was 26-25. So I think there was a lot of good defending there and some shots that were like hit the post. A lot of more missed opportunities than saved shots, I would say. But Esbjerg, even though they played, I think, pretty much the whole game without a right wing, did very well. It's amazing what they managed to do with such a small squad all the time. They seem to be the better team, but a 1-goal advantage going at home to CSM, it's really like, it's not something you're going to be resting your laurels on. You could definitely see this one go either way, particularly when you have Christina Niagu on the team losing by a goal.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to some people in the club afterwards, and they were saying, look, we're fairly happy with that result today because I think we didn't really play that well, especially in the first half. And for it only to be a 1-goal game at the end, after it being, 9-12 or 12-9 at halftime, they seemed relatively happy with that. And I said, and how do you feel about then the away leg? And they said, look, this group of players, they don't care where they go or who they're playing. And if you're talking about pure characters who you're going to bet on, if it turns into an absolute scrap, I think you probably have to say maybe CSM Bucuresti would actually be the team to go for because of the low numbers, and maybe I don't know, just the vibe I'm getting off the Esbjerg team. I think if it did turn into a bit of a scuffle, I'd probably go with the Bucuresti, the rock and roll crew.
We're going to find out this weekend. We'll come back again after the first leg games in the Men's Champions League. We'll wrap up what happened over the weekend as well. Anything else to add before we wrap it up today?
Don't think so. I think we can leave it there, will we?
Well, before we go, just have to give a shout out to my pals on the New Zealand beach handball team. On the men's team, they've qualified for the World Championship and the World Games by beating Australia for the first time, which is great for them. Played with them a couple of years ago, just before the pandemic, in the Australian Club Championship, and I know they were training really hard over the pandemic, really, and it showed. Both the men's and women's team got some big results, and also to our friend ABA, who led the USA men's team to North American gold in the beach handball championships there. So yeah, that's all the beach handball news for now. We'll save the rest of it for the summer until we get the club stuff done. But until next time, everyone take care and goodbye.